All right, so Sushi on everybody's mind. So SushiSwap, this is last month's darling DeFi project. Darling DeFi project. Seems to have had its honeymoon ended quite abruptly. Now, SushiSwap was effectively, for those of you who don't know, a liquidity pool clone of Uniswap, okay? One ostensibly built to strip power away from venture capital funds and whales and return it to the decentralized community of crypto traders and degens. But SushiSwap's fortunes and community sentiment, let's say, have turned on a dime over the weekend when it was revealed that its creator, or at least its lead developer, the anonymous developer known as Chef Nomi, sold the project's entire development fund, which accounted for 10% of the entire supply of Sushi, and transferred control of the project to FTX CEO Sam Bankman-Fried, SBF Alameda. Now, the work is currently underway to revive SushiSwap in the eyes of the community, but the project's reputation is certainly for the moment tarnished. A little over a week ago, actually a little bit over a week after its initial debut, Chef Nomi swapped his Sushi tokens. This happened on Saturday evening for 37,400 Ethereum, worth about $13 million, in a move that strongly resembles what we would call not a rug pull, but certainly an exit scam. Those tokens were dedicated ostensibly to the project's development fund, and the future of the project's development now is uncertain, as this anonymous creator has abandoned ship and ceded control of the whole decentralized application to the aforementioned FTX CEO Sam, SBF. Now, SushiSwap, as I said, was a fork of the Uniswap platform, and its creators, Chef Nomi, repeatedly stated that SushiSwap was intended to recreate the success of Uniswap without the backing of big-time VC firms and investors. Instead, it was presented as a unique opportunity for the wider community to build a grassroots Uniswap alternative. Sure. SushiSwap was identical to Uniswap v2 in nearly every way but one. It did feature a token that was intended to appreciate in value. Now, the Sushi token, the namesake token of the SushiSwap platform, was intended to address and replace a contentious design feature in Uniswap. Essentially, in a Uniswap, the development team can pull a lever and direct 17% of the earnings of the protocol to a designated address. The remaining 83% would still go to liquidity providers, LPs, those who stake their liquidity on Uniswap. Now, it is expected that this 17% would be shared among the founding team and investors whenever it is implemented. It has not been implemented yet. The feature, as I said, has not been activated, however. With Sushi, the mechanism remained the same. However, the 17% of earnings that I just mentioned would instead be distributed to Sushi holders instead. Now, SushiSwap kicked off its liquidity mining to great success, seeing upwards of $1 billion in the protocol at one point in time. To mine Sushi tokens, all you had to do was provide liquidity to a Uniswap pool and lock those subsequent LP tokens in the Sushi smart contract. Eventually, the plan was to migrate this liquidity from Uniswap to SushiSwap. So everything was pretty much going according to plan. The community for SushiSwap was ripe in anticipation for how the Sushi experiment would change the DeFi landscape, but all of this suddenly came undone over the weekend when on the news that the project's lead developer and head cheerleader, Chef Nomi, liquidated his stash of Sushi and sent the price crashing 50% in just minutes. So here is Chef Nomi from SushiSwap, his Twitter thread. If we take a look at the Twitter thread coming from Chef Nomi, he insists that this was not an exit scam, and he believes that he deserved the $13 million payday for the project's successful rollout and week-long lifespan. His detractors, however, point out that all he really did was copy and fork the code of an existing successful project, Uniswap, that itself was built over 3 years of blood, sweat, and tears. For perspective here, Nomi's profit from forking Uniswap is marginally higher than the amount of funding Uniswap has raised since its inception. It's very easy to destroy, very hard to build. Now, until Chef Nomi abandoned the project, SushiSwap was genuinely on its way to building a very robust and dedicated community, so it would appear from the outside in. Again, I'm in their Discord. However, one comment that I found amusing was that after being in that Discord for 30 minutes, a lot of people supported Chef Nomi's exit scam. All is not lost, though. And a new plan to restore SushiSwap has come to life thanks to the FTX CEO Sam Bankman-Fried. Now, Chef Nomi has transferred the administrative keys to Sam so that the FTX CEO could take over. And he also happens to be Sam, happens to be the biggest farmer of sushi and previously submitted a proposal to migrate SushiSwap to Solana to support their latest project, Serum. So Serum is FTX's DApp, kind of like Uniswap thing, and it's built on Solana, and they want it to take over, right? So migrating that liquidity seems to make sense. Now, again, SushiSwap was intended to be bootstrapped on the back of the existing Uniswap platform, but a migration away from Uniswap was planned to eventually take place and launch Sushi as its own standalone liquidity pool and automated market maker platform. Now, let's look at, here we go. So if we look at the FTX CEO's Twitter thread, we can see this series of posts, which acknowledges his acquisition of the admin keys to the SushiSwap project, but also mentions canceling the planned migration away from Uniswap with alternative plans yet to be determined, TBA, all right? Now, the Sushi team insists that the migration away from Uniswap is still on the roadmap, and Sushi's price has since recovered. It's up 86% today. You know, and that's happened since the chef has exited the kitchen, let's say. But Sushi's future is obviously very unclear. The project has seriously tarnished its main competitive edge against Uniswap, and that is its community, right? You can't really exit scam and rug pull in your community to a degree without pissing people off. Now, having a community with a strong financial incentive to use SushiSwap, once it launched, gave the project a shot at its success. Obviously, Uniswap is the clear decentralized exchange leader. It facilitates more volume than even Coinbase now on most days. Uniswap v3 is expected to launch in the near future, and that's inevitably going to improve how the decentralized exchange works. Now, there's no way that SushiSwap, which is just a fork of Uniswap v2, is going to compete with Uniswap v3 on features alone unless they actually do some development. Again, the only thing that Chef Nomi did was just change the faucet from where that 17% goes when the lever is pulled. They didn't do anything. They didn't build anything. They didn't write any code. There's nothing. It's garbage, okay? But that doesn't mean that garbage can't pump. And if you have loyal users and you have a strong community, you can do great things. You can establish market share. And, as Alex is wont to say, like, everything's a scam until it's not, right? So let's look at Tron, right? Tron was a scam, okay? Tron was a clone of Ethereum that launched with nothing but marketing, okay? Justin Sun grabbed a ton of money, and I don't know what his intentions were when he initially launched Tron, okay? However, because of the success of Tron has now been able to employ developers, build decentralized applications. There's actually a lot of DeFi happening on Tron right now. So one could argue that Tron started off as a scam and is now no longer a scam because of its success and the strength of its community. So again, very similar to SushiSwap. Something can start off as a scam and become not a scam because just enough people use it, and then people are like, screw it, let's just build on this, okay? So I don't want to cut with too broad of a knife right here. But with the broader community losing faith, SushiSwap's long-term success is not as certain as it was just a few weeks ago. Now, obviously, a lot to say here about SushiSwap. Let's go into the conspiracy theories. So, first thing here is if we look at the SushiSwap Discord, we can see a lot of conspiracy theories. One, obviously, this is just going to come with any kind of situation like this. One is that Chef Nomi and maybe even ZeroX Maki, who are the admins of the Discord and Telegram, are actually, or Chef Nomi is Banned Protocol CTO. I've also heard Link's CTO. That there was political collusion, or potential collusion at least, between CZ of Binance and Chef Nomi because isolated margin contracts for SushiSwap, i.e. the ability to short, launched just moments before Chef Nomi declared his exit scam. So imagine cashing in that sushi and then having a massive short on Sushi simultaneously as the price plunged 50% in minutes. Seems like somebody definitely made money on that maneuver. And then, of course, there is the speculation that SBF Alameda was behind Sushi to begin with. Again, they're the largest liquidity farmers on the project, so that Chef Nomi is actually Sam or a sock puppet of Sam. And then, of course, there's the speculation that that Sushi, if these individuals are employed by Band, were behind Zeus's Capital's recent hit piece on Link. Okay, if you guys are familiar, Zeus Capital put out this very scathing report on Link, and it is speculated that Band is actually behind that because Band Protocol is the second runner up to the Oracle money grab, let's say. Okay. So random speculation. However, what is interesting here, if we look at the token contract for SushiSwap, we can see that the very first input of 10 Ethereum, the very first input came from Binance. So one could say that there is definitely some potential collusion between Binance and Sushi here. Let's go look at Elon Gall under the breach over here, tweeting that, the anonymous creator of an Ethereum project named SushiSwap has just possibly exit scammed, earning himself about 7,017,971 Ethereum. Now, this is actually more. It was actually 34,000 Ethereum when all was said and done. And you can actually see here in the exact same transaction, that Chef Nomi removed almost 2.5 million Sushi and the resulting Ethereum liquidity from Uniswap, and in the same transaction swapped all of that Sushi for Ethereum, cashing out again with about 37,000 here, but again after fees is about 34,000 Ethereum. Here's W1 over on Twitter. Chef Nomi, which he's actually incorrect about this, it was 0x Maki, was doing an Ask Me Anything just a few hours before this exit scam on WeChat, talking to the Chinese community right before the tweet came out from Chef Nomi that he had converted the Sushi development fund into Ethereum and was exit scamming. So here's some quotes from that. And again, just correcting here that it was not Chef Nomi, but 0x Maki, who says that he is going to go public and not be anonymous. I highly doubt that. Let's go pull up ChartX so we can actually look at Sushi on Uniswap here. Let's see here. So this is the 7th. So it was the 5th later on. So here we can see the price plunge, almost 75%, I believe. I don't think it was quite there where the announcement was made. Perhaps it wasn't the 6th. It was right around here, around 8. It was right around here when the announcement was made by Chef Nomi. You can already see the pre-dumping prior to that, okay? The announcement was made, price moved down almost 70%, 50%, depending on where you want to get it. Immediately rebounded over 100%. So that was a good tradable bounce, and we find ourselves roughly around the $2.82 mark. I'm not gonna lie. Let's just look at SushiSwap in and of itself. I don't see a ton of volume coming in. We can see the volume coming in here on this push to the upside, which even if you didn't catch this initial bounce, you could have caught this very profitable 20% pullback trade right here. I don't really have any thoughts on SushiSwap. I think that if you want to throw $1,000 into it, go right ahead. It could go up, it could go down. I would not be banking long-term on this because I'm unclear on the fundamentals. What I will say is that things like SushiSwap, they're low cap. Well, maybe Sushi isn't low cap, but they're high risk degen trades. Okay, so I'm not going to fault anybody for throwing $1,000 into Sushi. Obviously, price is quite depressed, but just keep in mind that if the developer is exit scammed, then there are a couple cycles that are left, right? Obviously, there's 90% of the liquidity that's still out there that hasn't been cashed out. That money is still there. And it's, with Alameda stepping in, it is quite possible that we are going to see something positive out of SushiSwap. However, let's be real here. It just could be a publicity stunt for FTX to put their name out there and give some marketing to the Serum, to their Solana project, to their Uniswap alternative. So I think that's probably what's most likely going on. I don't think that FTX is actually going to do anything to revive the SushiSwap community. I think they're going to pillage the community and convert them all over into just do whatever they can to pump up Serum, which by the way is a pretty good project. So if you wanted something that potentially is a better thing to do with your money is to look into Serum. But I'm not going to give any opinions. I'm not going to give any buy or sell recommendations on SushiSwap. We've had a little bit of a price plunge over here, but TA is not the best. TA is not going to be the best. TA is going to help us time these ups and downs, these bips and bobs, but you need to know whether or not your risk profile, your risk tolerance, even is going to allow you to be doing something like messing around with SushiSwap. And keep in mind that with that $1,000 put in, you're still looking at like $30 to $50 transaction fees on Ethereum, although gas prices have come down a little bit since the weekend. So I don't really care about SushiSwap, to be quite honest with you. It's not anything that I ever played or want to play, but I certainly can do more research and get more information on Sushi to see if this is a tradable bounce to play. I think that largely the markets are going to move up. So if SushiSwap is your flavor, I think that the markets are going to be pushing up over the next 2 to 4 days. So opportunities are there. But in the macro, I think that things are going to continue to pull back. All right, that's all I got for Sushi.